When you ask me why One Piece is the greatest anime of all time, the answer is not simple. Because One Piece is not just an anime. It's not just a story about pirates. It is an experience. It's a journey that has lasted for more than 25 years, 1,000 chapters, hundreds of episodes, and still, it feels like the story has only just begun. Why is that? Because One Piece is not just about fights, or power-ups, or flashy animation. It's about life itself. The first reason One Piece stands above all is its world. Eiichiro Oda didn't create just a setting. He created a universe. Every island, every sea, every sky, every kingdom feels alive. From the scorching deserts of Alabasta to the floating islands of Skypia, to the icy snows of Drum, to the burning hell of Impel Down. Each place has its own culture, its own politics, its own struggles. In One Piece, you don't just watch characters move through a backdrop. You live in a world that feels real. A world of slavery, of hunger, of dictatorship, of revolution. A mirror of our own reality, hidden inside an adventure of pirates. But a world means nothing without the people who live in it. And in One Piece, the characters are unforgettable. Every single member of the Straw Hats has a dream. Every single one has a scar. Zoro, who would sacrifice his life to become the world's greatest swordsman. Sanji, who seeks the mythical All Blue. Nami, who only ever wanted freedom from the chains of Arlong. Robin, who lost everything as a child and dared to say the words, "I want to live." Chopper, rejected by humans and animals alike, searching for acceptance. Brook, cursed to wander alone, his entire crew dead, singing with nothing but bones and tears. And then there's Law, the boy who survived a plague that wiped out his home, saved only by Corazon, who gave his life so Law could live. Boy Hancock, once a child slave of the Celestial Dragons, marked and abused, who hides her trauma behind pride. These backstories are not just sad, they are brutal, they are human, and they show us that even in a fantasy world, pain is real. This is why One Piece is not just fantasy, it's a mirror of our reality. Slavery, shown through Fisher Tiger, Hancock, and Sabaody. Hunger and poverty, from Luffy sharing food to the starving people of Wano. Abused children like Sanji, tortured by his own family. Dictatorships and corruption, from Crocodile's Alabasta to Doflamingo's Dressrosa. The cruelty of the Marines, hiding behind justice, while pirates like Whitebeard and Shanks protect their families. Revolutionaries like Dragon, fighting against the corrupt world government. And the secrets of the Void Century, knowledge erased by those in power. One Piece explores it all. And it tells us, the world is not black and white. There are good pirates and evil marines. There are kings who oppress and peasants who fight for freedom. There are gods and monsters and humans caught in between. But what truly makes One Piece legendary is the way it tells its story. Oda plants seeds that bloom decades later. He foreshadows events hundreds of episodes before they matter. From the first chapter, where Shanks entrusts Luffy with a hat, to the mystery of Joy Boy whispered in Skypia, to the hints about the Void Century scattered across the seas, every detail, every island, every character is part of a larger puzzle. No other anime rewards its fans with this level of patience. No other story pays off so beautifully, after years of waiting. And yet, what makes One Piece human is not just its mystery, it is its emotion. One Piece makes you laugh until your stomach hurts. It makes you cry until you cannot breathe. Nami crying, "Help me, Luffy!" Robin screaming, "I want to live!" Dr. Hillageclick's words, "When do you think people die? When they are forgotten." The death of Ace in Luffy's arms, breaking the world's strongest boy into tears. The farewell of the Going Merry, a ship treated not as wood, but as family. You don't just watch One Piece, you feel it. Even the power system of One Piece tells a story. Devil fruits, from simple abilities like stretching to terrifying godlike powers that can reshape the world. Haki, The will of a person made manifest. Not just strength, but conviction. The ability to conquer others with spirit alone. And then the gods themselves. The sun god Nika, the rulers of the Void Century. Imu, the shadow behind the throne. In One Piece, power is not just who can hit harder. It's who can carry their dreams the farthest. At its heart, One Piece is a story about freedom, about dreams, about legacy. It tells us that no dream is too small, that no one is too weak, that inherited will never dies. When one dream ends, another is born. And above all, One Piece teaches us that the world will try to chain you down. But if you fight, if you never give up, you can break those chains. That is Luffy's message. That is the spirit of One Piece. So why is One Piece the greatest anime of all time? Because it has everything. The adventure, the laughter, the tears, the pain, the hope. It's not just about pirates. It's not just about treasure. It's about us. It's about the world we live in and the dream of freedom that lives in every human heart. And that is why One Piece is not just an anime. It's the greatest story ever told.